What's up, guys? Welcome to week number 27 of my 2018 training. This was overall a relatively decent week of training, although I did learn a couple of things, or relearn a few things since I wasn't necessarily too bright. But week started off here with incline pressing as the main max effort movement. We set the bench to about 45 degrees or so, and the question that we had with doing this was whether or not the incline position would be good at teaching us to reinforce a high sternum position. And for that, it was actually really good, and this felt pretty good on the shoulders, all considering the angle, which was really surprising because I didn't think that an incline would feel good, but it actually felt better than the flat pressing has up till this point. Ended up taking triples at 225, 45, 65, and 275 for a top set here, all of which moved relatively well and were pain-free. I did get slightly out of my groove on the, well, let's see here. I'm pretty sure it was just the third rep. Yeah, on the third rep. So the first two moved pretty well. Got a little bit loose here, and you can see that bar just kind of slow down there. That's more so from a lack of positioning than anything, because after the first two reps, I had it in my head that I was good to go up to probably around 300 or so. So called it there and decided to put some extra work in on some close grip. It's about a 2-board press with the bench block here. Took 275 for 5, 295 for 5, and then 315 for 4, all of which were relatively pain-free and moved fairly well. So what I'll probably be doing here for the next couple of weeks is starting to increase the intensity, or kind of the scale of the secondary pressing movement on the max effort day. We'll most likely start with moving the dumbbell floor pressing to the max effort day as a secondary. I didn't do that yet at this workout here. This is, I think, 2 weeks ago. Just did the close grip, obviously, but that's more the direction that I'll be going forward, since my dumbbell pressing from the Wednesday workout started getting really heavy. I will probably move that over to max effort for a couple of weeks, and then if it does get moved back to just the dynamic effort day, then what I'll do is probably drop the rep range to, or up it to sets of like 20. That way I'm forced to keep the weight lighter, and I'll do 2 to 3 sets of 20 rather than trying to do sets of 10 heavy. So we will see how that all goes. Also, back in my briefs here for this max effort workout, decided to just get on the Duffalo bar and do some box squatting, since that's usually the best way for me to find my groove in the briefs. These overall moved okay, not necessarily the greatest. I'm still trying to get the fit of the briefs figured out. They're different. They're not the same now that they've been taken in. So where they kind of grab and how I need to strap them down with the belt is a little bit different than where it was before. So you'll see on some of the sets, they're kind of tucking my butt under and pulling that right knee in, or my right, left as you're watching the video. So I only took these up to 380 for 2 doubles as the top sets. Took a double at like 330 as well, and decided to just kind of call it there and take the win. The weight moved okay. It felt decent on my back. It wasn't anything particularly heavy or particularly good feeling. I just got some work in, and I'm going to work on kind of bringing back in some squat training on the max effort. So overall, these moved okay. For the deadlift movement for the day, I was working off of a 1.5 inch deficit, so standing on, I think, just 2 mats, and ended up taking sets at 315, 365, 405, or maybe I went straight to 405. I might have gone straight to 405, 450, 500. Once I got to 500, I figured I could actually do the set a little bit better, so I took 2 singles at 500, and then Jimmy was having a little bit of a trouble getting out of his head for his top set of 560 for 3. So I made a deal with him that I would pull the same weight he did from the deficit as long as he made his triple. So we both made our sets. I included Jimmy's set here after this 500 pull, so you can see that he's looking real strong. He should be pulling 600 or so at his next comp in a couple of weeks here. So we've got an IPL meet coming to town, I want to say August 4th. At the time that I'm recording this voiceover, that's about 2 weeks and some change out. So he's got one more heavy workout before we drop it down to just openers. So here's a real strong triple with 560 from him, and then cut to my pull with 560, which moved decently okay. But the combination of the incline benching on Saturday, followed by the heavy mixed grip, which that's dying. Again, a heavy mixed grip pull here with the 560, followed by the moving my my dynamic effort bench workout to Tuesday rather than Wednesday. The combination of less recovery plus a heavy mixed grip twisting up my upper back plus the incline bench from Saturday tightening up the pec minor ended up turning into just a real minor strain in my left pec. I happened on the 10th set of speed work here on this Wednesday workout. So what I ended up doing is just kind of shutting it down, reassessed kind of how everything was feeling, and was actually still able to do some decent work on the dumbbell floor presses. I worked up to 3 sets of 10 with the 95s, and then dropped it down to 60s for a set of 60, a set of 40, and then I think I got 48 on the 3rd set. And I was able to use a variety of elbow positions and different degrees of pec recruitment for that, and those all felt fine. So it wasn't anything that I was really worried about. It didn't make me have to really skip a workout or anything. It was just a little bit tight, but I think I shut it down at the right time and got in there with the boomstick and everything. So now 2 weeks later, that's fully healed up. That didn't even give me any trouble on the max effort bench workout after this day. So nothing really to write home about there, except for I should have been smarter and known that heavy incline work to tighten the pec, followed by mixed grip, which I will no longer be doing because that clearly does not work out well for me, into trying to speed up the recovery between the 2 workouts. Not a good idea, so won't be doing that again. This brings us to the dynamic effort lower day. I've had a little bit of trouble for the first few sets trying to get the chains figured out. So you can see I look like I'm dumping and shifting here on some of these sets. It took like 3 tries to get the chains even, and then once all of that was taken care of, then I was nice and squared up, and these were some of the best dynamic squats that I've had here. So this is just the same 145 with 120 in chain. Did 10 doubles. Each set of 2 was superset with 10 double kettlebell swings. Got all of that done in, I want to say, like 11-12 minutes. So relatively, maybe, yeah, about 12 minutes. Nothing really exciting there, aside from the fact that everything is still moving well and firing well. So I'm glad to have that, and I'll be bringing back in some actual speed pulls here relatively soon. After the main dynamic effort work, worked on some concentric good mornings. This is the 3rd and final week of this variation before I switch it up. Was able to take this up to a top set of 5 at 500, which felt really good, all considering. It was a ton of volume. This height and this variation on good mornings really hit my glutes really well, and I can feel them decently sore for about 2 days afterwards, which is great. It's perfect. It's just what I'm looking for. What I'll be doing going forward is switching the good morning variation to probably just a regular basic good morning for sets of 8 or so. I'm going to superset that with some hang leg lifts, but I will outline those changes in the next video since this one is just about out of time. As always, be sure to check out the gym's website at savagebarbellclub.com. And if you enjoyed this video or any of the other ones up on my channel, do me a favor and like them and subscribe to the channel. That is it, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks.